I'm not a Sasha Banks fan. I'm honestly, I'm a Becky Lynch fan. I think she's
Yeah,
good.
you would say that, and we're live now.
I'm aware, but this ain't about Becky Lynch. This is about Monday Night Raw because she wasn't drafted. This is about Monday Night Raw, y'all. You got Michael Williams, newest cast member on the PWF Empire show, and we got Cass here on the other end. We're gonna review PWF Empire's own live review of Raw that just got off the air, and we're gonna start from the beginning. You ready, Cass?
I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
All right, so we started with the greatest music of all time with John Cena. Oops, my bad. I
Quote
thought
unquote.
it was The Miz. My favorite part about it was that people didn't realize it was The Miz for a
Yeah, that's the
long
thing.
time. For a long time. What was your take on it?
I mean, like, not really much because like the thing about it is apparently because here's the thing when he did this to The Rock, I legitimately remember watching 2011. It was like I thought that was literally The Rock until he took the sunglasses off. So this was honestly no scenario, and of course this introduced him and Maurice as the first combatants for Monday Night Raw in the Superstar Shakeup, or as I like to
Ooh.
call it, the clusterfuck of what has been trades between Raw and SmackDown because this is just all around confusing.
And we will get there. If you checked out my tweets at Micah Kool-Aid, that trust me, this superstar shakeup made no sense, no sense.
None.
And I got some words to say about a certain superstar switching brands later in the show. So we'll keep it later. We'll do it by segment. But Miz and Maurice announced that they're gonna be on Raw, and then Dean Ambrose
Ew.
shows up, and he says he's gonna be on
Ew.
Raw. Yeah, yeah. It's a quick like, oh man, the Superstar Shakeup's gonna be ooh, because what they kind of have storylines that are still going, and that's what this Superstar
Yeah.
Shakeup was doing. It was showing right there. All storylines are null and void.
Yeah, that's the one issue that well, I know we're gonna get into it, but it was just a complete trend throughout the night because didn't Baron Corbin pin Dean Ambrose last week,
Yes, sir.
and didn't like and weren't we supposed to get like a quote unquote feud between the Miz and Nakamura because you figure like none of that was completely addressed, and I know we still got another night of this to go, but it's like still I will say though it's gonna be interesting to see what the Miz, Maurice, and Dean Ambrose are gonna be like because Jay tried to get on my behind before we got on there on how these guys weren't even like at the top of the main event scene. Because I hope he realizes that we probably won't get a Miz WWE Championship run.
Not even
And
close.
yeah, and it's just like they're gonna be limited because it's like on SmackDown they weren't really as handcuffed, but on Raw they definitely will be handcuffed. So boy, did we get some interesting picks throughout the rest of the night though.
Oh yeah, and we will get there. And as you said that, and I want every listener to realize that it's on Raw. It's the house of the big people. We got Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, Big Show, Roman Reigns. All of those people, well, not Big Show, but we ain't gonna talk about that. All those people can contend for the
The
WWE
Universal
Universal
Champion.
title.
Yeah.
And then you put Miz and Dean Ambrose in there, and you're like, who these chumps? Who are these chumps? They ain't gonna do anything. All right, but that's enough about that. We'll move on to also earlier in the show they announced. We'll get them out of the way real quick before because it happened before. Kalisto, Apollo Cruz, and uh, Beauty and the Man Beast of Rhino
What
and
the
Heath
hell?
Slater transferred over. It's good for two of them. Beauty and the
Yeah.
Man Beast is done. For Kalisto, he's gonna go to 205 Live. We all know this. And
Oh, yeah,
for
cruiserweight division.
yes, 100%. And for Apollo,
I
oh,
don't. I don't see much. I don't see what's the point of him going from SmackDown to Raw specifically because he didn't get over on SmackDown. So it's like he's probably gonna get even less over on Raw. But I mean,
unless he joins with the Triple H mystery faction that's coming up or makes a faction, he ain't going nowhere.
Micah, I know you're new to this, but go back and watch WrestleMania. I believe it was 19, and nobody at that point in time will be involved with Triple H that as far as the opposite race. But that's around the point.
True. Well, we got to keep it going. The first match that ever happened on the card was the Revival versus the New Day. Well,
Two
excluding
thirds
Kofi.
of it.
Yes, excluding Kofi due to his leg injury. Nice that they tied that up into the
Yeah.
storyline. That was really good. I saw your tweet about Xavier taking that Shatter Machine. You taking it?
Yes, that. Oh yeah, that chat machine just looked completely nasty, and I'm gonna forgive them for that because again, this is only their second week. I kind of found it interesting the fact that they did New Day versus the Revival again because you figured they would want to save that for one of the Raw pay per views. But I enjoyed the match. Like I actually thought the match was really good. The Revival did get a less of a reaction, a
Yes.
much less reaction than they got last week, which them along with Samoa Joe are the ones that I'm really like paying attention to as far as character development because these guys have got to be used completely right. But I did see a bit of nuance from their NXT days, but again, it's like what I said last week. This isn't NXT anymore, boys.
Mm-mm.
They called you up. We want you up. You are up here, so it's like you gotta be ready to go. But yeah, so far, solid booking for the Revival.
Yes, they have to really not rest on their all fists, no flips, like just saying their catchphrase.
Yeah.
They got to do promos and like
The
back that up.
T-shirt, the T-shirts
Oh,
though, that
Lord.
was great. Heel heat.
Oh, that's when you get schooled by like your friends, and then they just keep it going. Like you're like,
Yeah,
stop, man, stop. It already hurt.
yeah. That's the character development I'm talking about. It's just like they're just so natural with it, and they can just keep
Yes,
it going. Just keep it going. I'm telling you, those reactions will go from quiet to cheers. But
and we
in this
won't.
day and age,
And we won't. Trust me, I have other thoughts about it, but I don't want to extend this too long. Like,
yeah.
I don't want us to get into like who's gonna get traded to SmackDown. This is all about
Oh
Raw,
yeah.
just as they did today. So we'll go over quick. Cruiserweight stuff happened. T.J. Perkins turned heel. That was it.
Yeah, but
And
we
trust
also
me,
had Austin
tr-
Aries versus T.J. Perkins, which everybody
yes,
was thinking like this is gonna be an excellent match. Like this is gonna be great. Like
it was
have you
it
guys
was
ever not
I.
been watching this division?
It was no, and Jay can attest to this by his own. 205 Live is a good show. It can do it.
Quote unquote.
Quote unquote good show. They have good storytelling in the ring. The only problem is that they don't have good storytelling outside of the ring. It
Yeah.
is abysmal outside. It's tough.
But I will say, oh yeah, I agree. But I will say though, I kind of like we finally got a TJ Perkins character development because
Yes.
it's not that he's bad in the ring. It's just like he's always had such a bad character. Like seriously, you tell me that me doing this is automatically gonna be like, I
Oh,
like you. Honestly, I think you're a freaking douchebag. But yeah, I mean, he turned heel. That's something. I hope he's not going to get added to this Cruiserweight Championship match at Payback because then that completely throws everything awry.
I
And
think
you
they'll.
know he's going to eat the pinfall when he gets there.
Yes. I think if they do add him to it, it's just the prolonged inevitably of Austin Aries, which I'm cool with. I'm cool with that. But TJ turning heel is what was needed. It really was for his character. Jay and I talked about it a long time ago, and we can get into fantasy booking at a different time. But I think there is mileage in heel T.J. Perkins. Looking at you, Drew Gulak. Mind you, I look like I'm gonna go join Drew Gulak in my suit.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. So the next segment, I have to look up because I typed it. I was really not prepared today. Sorry, everybody. So the next segment was Seth Rollins and doing his promo actually to his complete face promo. Cause let me tell you,
The
we
blandest face promo I've ever heard in my life.
everybody gives him shit like I don't know if he's a heel or a face, and he like you guys made it for me, you guys blah blah blah. I'm Seth Rollins the whole fucking way, and I'm cool with that. He need to get the face on him, but let's talk about the biggest flaw with it, Samoa Joe.
I actually did not think this segment really accomplished much. I actually did. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think it accomplished much, specifically because it was like it's almost like he was pretty much rebuttaling what he was saying
You're
in
right.
leading in the feud with Triple H for WrestleMania, and it was like I'm glad that he filled in like those potholes of like I apologize to like the crowd, like I give you my thank you for supporting me, but it's honestly like if I wanted to like really feel that you accept us, like, then why couldn't you have done that like on social media during rehab or like anything like that? Because it's almost like it always felt like he had to say it. And as far as like the Samoa Joe Kurt Angle stuff, I was just going in my mind screaming just TNA, TNA the entire time. But I do like the fact that Kurt Angle did endorse Seth Rollins with that with the knee. He's actually been putting a lot of people
Yes.
over in the span of 2 weeks. But as
Oh
far as
yeah.
the Joe stuff, that was pretty random. I know they're planning on going with Rollins versus Joe at Payback probably, but I mean,
Well, my take with it was that Rollins showed up and he needed to do the next step for himself. He already beat the King, so
mm,
what's the up and coming knight going to do now in his life? What's his goals? What's he gonna do? So he needed to be like, "Hey Joe, I still see you. Hey crowd, you gotta support me because I'm your knight." Blah blah blah. It was standard face promo stuff, but it was needed to solidify himself as the face and to push him in some sort of a direction. So I was
what
fine
I
with it.
yeah, but what I found interesting is the fact that before we go to commercial break, Seth Rollins is just walking in the back, and all of a sudden he's talking to Enzo and Big Cass. I'm like, why aren't you looking for Samoa Joe?
Because why you go look for Samoa? I ain't looking for Samoa Joe. I gotta live. And Rollins still is injured. He still has to live. He still has to live. And
Yeah,
for me, Joe was just so quick of just like, I'm Samoa Joe. I'm done. I'll get you next time, you Seth
yeah.
Rollins. That was it. And
I
I
don't
don't
like it
like it.
when Joe shows that because Joe's always been for Joe. He should be able. He's always been able to beat somebody's ass and be able to get away with it and just go on without nobody's business. But
All right, so I think we've said as much as we could about this. For right now, we'll see where it goes in the coming weeks. We got Nia Jackson, Charlotte. Nia got
weird.
the shit kicked out of her. Did you see that?
Are you sure it wasn't the other way around? Because
Nah, dude. When Charlotte does the moonsault outside of the ring to her, Nia's supposed to take her
oh
on
yeah,
most of her body. She took the whole boot to most of her face.
yeah, oh
She
yeah.
she got hit hard, and you could see that that really rattled her. But good on Nia for pulling through and finishing the match and getting the win.
Not with the win. Yeah, definitely
Nia
not
with the
with the
win,
win.
and
With the Samoan drop of all moves.
and I'm happy
I,
for that. I'm happy
yeah.
about that
I
because
honestly did not. Sorry, Micah, but it's like
no no
I
no
honestly did not like this match. I honestly
no no
didn't
no
like the
no
match as much
no.
because it was sloppy. And the weird thing about it is, I think it was designed to be that way, in a weird way. But there was a point in the match like where I think Nia Jax was trying to pick up Charlotte by the hair, and then it's like she tried to like throw her around, but I think she landed Charlotte's like hair like right square on the mat. So it's like
Yes, yes.
Nia
I don't
Jax is
think it
still
was supposed to
definitely
be, as you said, as sloppy as it was. It just ended up
yeah.
being that way because Nia still, as we were about to say, green, green,
And I guess
green.
this is apparent that Charlotte will apparently be going to SD Live with the loss because way too many. This was way too coincidence.
Yes.
And honestly, this was a weird heel versus heel matchup. And it's like we always talk about how we don't get a lot of those face versus face or heel versus heel matches. But this was just one of those where it's kind of like we probably shouldn't have saw this.
No, 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 no. I think they wanted to like get Nia over with like, oh, she's a heel. Look at her, she's a heel, and B get Charlotte like get the Charlotte Nia Jax feud out of the way
Yeah.
because like we all wanted it, but like nah. But
I didn't want it.
I did not want it.
I didn't
I
want it
did
at
not
all.
want it. But tonight is the Nia Jax show, 100%. And we'll get there later with another women's segment. But we gonna skip over this real quick. Finn Balor beat Jinder Mahal. He looked good. It was
I did
clearly a
not like
showcase.
this.
Of course you.
I was not big on this
It
because it was weird because it's like Finn Balor, one of your the first ever Universal Champion for Monday Night Raw, and it was almost like they literally forgot that he made his return
important.
last week, and it was like literally like I believe it was like what the 10 o'clock hour that they put his match in, so it was just kind of random for my taste because when you make a return like he did last week, I guess I expect you to be in the main, not in the all back in the main event scene because I know he's still got to get in that slow process back.
But now, oh, well, first off, You're right. You're right that they presented him as, oh shit, he's
Yeah,
back, and then the following week, yeah, hey, it's gender. Like,
he
but
can't take him.
yeah, like in the factor that he was giving up so much offense to gender, like that elbow that they kept like, oh my god, gender killed him. I'm like, he's gonna destroy gender. He's not even a contender. Like, he's not even
Yeah,
a tag team title contender. But besides
or
all that,
cruiserweight.
now if I may, and we ain't gonna talk about Finn Balor as a cruiserweight because WWE doesn't want us to. But then we get the newest surprise for the superstar shakeup, Bray Wyatt, who is in a feud with Randy Orton on SmackDown for the goddamn title, is now on Raw. And that
Okay,
is garbage.
I hate to correct you, but it's not just garbage, but it's also a clusterfuck. Like, this is one of the trades that I just did not think made sense because
Not at
again
all.
there was just a lot of unanswered stuff tonight, and again I think that pretty much was the question via the
Yes.
superstar shakeup, which is honestly, while it did kind of make things confusing, it did kind of make things more interesting at the same time. 'Cause it was almost like they were starting feuds and ending feuds because it's like it's the typical Bray Wyatt feud when he shows up on the damn Titantron after a superstar gets a victory, and it's always a top guy. But I saw on Twitter, and I'm like, I don't know why people are so excited for this Finn Balor Bray Wyatt feud because we all know where it's
Where
gonna
it's gonna
go.
go. Where it's gonna go. Bray loses, Finn
Yep,
moves on, Bray fades out of
and that's
existence.
it. Yeah, not to mention, like, you pretty much just gave away what the match is,
What
like
the
the winner of
match
the
conclusion
match.
is with Randy. He gonna lose. He's gonna lose. Because there's no way they're gonna put Brock Lesnar Universal title
Yeah,
on goddamn SmackDown. Randy is going to be the main de facto champion with the WWE title. If
which is
Bray is
dumb.
on Raw, he ain't gonna get that title, so hence he ain't gonna beat Randy at all. There's no tension, no excitement, no nothing. And the factor
Um,
is that his character's so dead in the water after
yeah,
WrestleMania, more so that, oh man, he's coming after Finn Balor, who can't suffer a loss and who technically
yeah.
needs a win. That Bray, even if he somehow pulls some mystical John Cena in a cage match in 20, I think 13 bullcrap, he is still going to lose the feud in the end, and nothing will happen.
That's it's almost like when there's the name Bray Wyatt was a transitional champion. We all knew that was coming as soon as he won that title, which is one of the things that makes it even that makes it even worse. So it's like while it does shake things up because you do change from one brand to another in terms of that gives you more options for feuds, but it's like this is one of the feuds like where one person is gonna have to go over, and we all know, like you said, it's gonna have to be Finn Balor.
Yes,
And unfortunately, this just shows you what Bray Wyatt's potential is with the company if they keep putting
completely.
him in the big feuds, but yeah, he always loses them.
What is going to eventually come down to is that Bray's just going to have to leave the contenders for the belts, and probably
Mm-hmm.
team up with Bo and be a tag team.
That I could actually get behind for some reason because Bo's been growing the beard for like the last couple of months, so
And they're
we might be able to
legitimate
get that.
brothers. And they're legitimate brothers. It could be a pretty cool thing in the end. But we've talked enough about it. Let's jump on over to Sami Zayn and Miz. And what happened earlier, I didn't go over it, was that Sammy was buttering up Kurt Angle. And then Miz showed up. He's like, F you, Sammy. He's like, F
Great
you,
stuff.
Miz. And then they started, and then Kurt Angle was like, stop it, you guys are going to fight. So now we're where we are now. And Sammy got the win with a roll up. Yeah, yeah, he got the win. And
This kind of ties in to what we talked about at the start of the show with the Miz finally coming to Raw. It's like, cause think about it, this dude got dirty deeds by Dean Ambrose.
yes,
He lost lost in three different ways that did not accomplish anything. Again, I'm just so worried for the Miz's like
yo, you know,
potential because he has no platform
no.
what he had on SD Live anymore. That means no more talking smack, people. I hope you
Uh,
realize that. No more of that.
uh,
no more of that. But I will say, good. I think this is safe to say that Sammy is staying on Raw for now. But again,
So
no legitimate answer.
so long as Sammy stays on Raw and Kevin goes gone, that's the only thing that
He might
comes to
be
me.
KO might be going to
Yes.
SmackDown
I need them
considering.
to be on separate brands. 100%. But
Yeah. Oh, real
um
quick.
go
Sorry not
ahead.
to cut you off, man, but
You good.
Kurt Angle, we gotta admit on how his comedic timing is just perfect.
On point. On point. His delivery and speech, his mannerisms, his like he's that new guy that came into work. He's like, "Yeah, I'm good." And then he sees the misery of this place. He's like,
Yeah.
"This is utter garbage."
And he's like, "How did I get this job?"
But Kurt Angle's kicking it out of the park for only 2 weeks. Oh man,
Yeah.
it's music to my ears just hearing
Oh
that
yeah.
music and hearing him talk. He's
And
so good.
saying you suck, I got his T-shirt right in my drawer. I would have wore it, but I
Nice.
actually just watched it. I don't want to stain it, but I can actually say you suck to Kurt Angle, and it's awesome.
But we're gonna hop over to probably the highlight of the night: Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns, bruh. For me,
Can we just say just Braun being the highlight and not Roman Reigns? And people, I don't even hate Roman, but it was almost
it was the
like
Braun show. It
what?
was it was the Braun show. He literally. My favorite part was that before Braun showed up, Roman sees him. He takes off his mic. He's like, "Oh shit, I'm about to get fucked up," and then he gets destroyed. He gets tossed. And my favorite was that Braun is that dude that just keeps whooping that ass. He threw him
Yeah,
and beat him up. Then he's like, "All right, I'm done." Walked away. Nah, bitch, I ain't done. Toss you over the rail. All right, I'm done. Walks away. Comes back. Nah, bitch, I ain't done. Whoops his ass in the ambulance. Walks behind the ambulance. You think he's gonna leave? Nah, bitch, I ain't done. Tip the ambulance over with his pure brawn strength.
well,
Ah, da, da, da,
trick
da.
camera work.
Da,
That
da,
was
da, da,
trick
da,
camera
da.
work, and you know it.
We suspend disbelief. A man can get hit in the head and be perfectly fine in the world that we live in. So a man can pick up a goddamn ambulance truck. We had a fucking zombie man put off his damn coat and hat in the middle of a ring, and we all cheered because he's the best. But
Good point, but
he's a zombie man. But besides that, Braun killed it tonight.
I will say I did enjoy the segment for what it was, but people, I hope you realize we're gonna get an ambulance match in 3 weeks because they pretty much just.
Uh,
It was like, honestly that could be pretty good on paper when you think about it, like an ambulance match. But I will say though, it's like the typical. It's like they saw what they did with Roman Reigns last week when they had him kick off the show, having him embrace the booze,
yes.
not necessarily like him
And
turn
then,
on the crowd. And it's like they did a complete 180
yes.
once again. And it's like
He
Vince
started
McMahon. Go ahead, man.
he started good with his promo with I think it was Charlie Caruso at the time or whoever when he was like, "This is my
Yeah.
guy," and it was still that whole tweener in between. But then they gave this whole Braun destroying him, which then made him back to babyface and peril syndrome, and he don't need to be. He beat the Undertaker, as we said
Yeah.
on our kayfabe tier list, which hopefully you listeners will see soon enough. Looking at everybody. He is S rank, which is saved for part timers or unbeatable people at the moment, and that is what Roman is right now. And with Braun showing him as this vulnerable dude, it it's whatever. Mind you, Braun had to dismantle the man. He had to
Yeah.
throw him, beat him, throw him again, tip him over. I'm pretty
Even though he
sure.
was wearing a boy-proof vest.
Oh my god, that was so annoying. He throws him on like a barricade or something, and he just lays out. I don't know about you. If I get hit by a needle, I'm like,
Suspend
ow.
disbelief.
But
Suspend your
yes,
disbelief.
yes, you have to do that. I'm sure Braun is at the hospital now, being like, "I ain't done yet," and whooping his ass.
It is interesting though because, like I said, they just did a complete 180 on Reigns once again. It was like this is. I feel as if they're trying to create sympathy for Roman
Yes.
Reigns again. And people, I don't know if you listened to our our podcast Friday, but I was just like, I just got sick and tired of talking about the Roman Reigns stuff because it's just been the same stuff over and over again. And tonight it pretty much solidifies, and it's like, unfortunately, I do worry for Braun still because while this segment did kind of help repair him a bit, I hope it's not going to be a situation where Reigns beats him. And the unfortunate thing is, right now, we all know that the plan is for Reigns to face Lesnar for the title sooner or later, or like a fatal four-way scenario. So I just hope Braun doesn't get lost in the shuffle out of all this. But he did look very strong tonight.
I think Braun. Then I'll say this right now in WWE, especially after WrestleMania, this is the period of let's look and see. Usually on especially after SummerSlam until Royal Rumble, it's always beat by the numbers. Like, I can see this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. Everything right now is completely, what's gonna happen next? You have my intrigue. So we got the Braun and Brock segment over.
Oh, real quick, we actually skipped over this one. Kurt Hawkins came to Raw.
And to continue on the show, because we ain't gonna talk about that.
You missed the Drifter too.
Oh yeah, if you blinked,
did you see him?
Well,
no,
I was about to get to the tag team
crowd?
segment. Yeah, I saw him in the crowd during was it Sami and Miz segment?
I think so.
Yeah, he walks by and everyone loses their crap. And then now that brings us into the 8-man tag match, keeping it on track, that he shows up there just real quick. And I love that Corey Graves is still being his whole, man, damn it, the Drifter's back.
I like it. It's good continuity. But I'll be honest with you, if they just kept him as a Drifter, like him floating in between Raw and SmackDown every single week, I'd be completely fine with that.
Okay, good. But to the 8-man tag, it was your standard 8-man tag. I was lightly paying attention to it because I was still reeling from the Braun strength of Braun. But it was standard. Oh, the good guys facing the bad guys. I hope the club goes to SmackDown.
I mean, here's the thing. I would have said that, but they didn't need the pin, so it's like but again, we don't know where everybody's going to end up until tomorrow night.
It's completely confusion right now, and we'll see with our with tomorrow. We're going to have, if I'm correct, Evan and
don't put in a plug in for those.
We're a team, bro. We're gonna beat them in the ratings 100%, but we have to still promote the rest of the show, and that is Evan and not Dalton. Lucas, that's it. Lucas, Evan and Lucas. He goes.
Did you vote? Let me ask you this question, Micah, because this was kind of weird for me. Did you find the Hardy Boys' entrance tonight kind of like
subdued?
Okay.
Yeah, it was subdued.
Like they're here.
Yep, they went back. It's only 1 week after they showed back up, but they didn't make it a big flash like it was the first time. Mm-hmm. It was a quick, hey, there's the Hardys. They're cool. Y'all gonna pop for that, right? All right, cool.
They did pop, and they did pop for it tonight, which is still good. But it's like, if tonight that I felt as if it's like, okay, the Hardy Boys are here. It's like I didn't have that surreal moment, that same moment that I had at WrestleMania. Now that they're going to be taking on Sheamus and Cesaro for the Raw Tag Team titles at Payback in a couple weeks, I'm really interested in that match because I need to see the Hardys actually like work a real tag team match for like a long distance because they're a little rusty. But
also, I have to point out the delete chants. Y'all, it's not Hail Hitler. It's a swipe. It's a swipe. I don't know if you noticed at WrestleMania, but me, I was there. I was so uncomfortable. Everybody was just like, delete. I was like, not the Jews. Like they've been through enough. Leave them alone. It's a swiping motion. A swiping motion. But we're
get the Shining shits off my TV too.
Yes, but we're gonna glide past Dana Brooke being Dana Brooke. I hate
who
Dana
can't
Brooke.
read apparently.
Yes, it was so sad. Everything, I feel bad for Dana. She's like that sister in the family that just fails all the time.
Yeah.
Like, Dana, you're supposed to flip. Oh, I thought I was supposed to Sleep. No, Dana. No.
At least Emma got on TV. Then that's
Yes.
all I'm gonna say about that.
Yes. And I'm sure Emma's going to be great. But that also brings us to the new women's segment of Sasha Banks showing up.
Who
And
should have turned heel, and I was
100%.
so waiting on it.
It was
I was
it
so
was
waiting on it.
it was as I said, this is the moment of transition. This is, oh, when is it gonna happen? Everything right
Yeah.
now is what's gonna happen next. And that was perfect. They did exactly what they wanted you to do, Cass. They made you want it, but not
Hmm.
get it. Not instant gratification. And that's what we need right now. They need to drag this thing out. But then we get Alexa Bliss. Sorry, Bailey
Who
shows
got the
up.
biggest? Who got the biggest pop of the night?
Hmm.
Apparently, so that was a good sign.
Yes, yes. Everyone, it's very much shown that people do understand who Alexa Bliss is, her 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 greatness, which is still annoying to me, but her greatness in the ring and her character, and what she brings. But you know who else got a big ass pop? Mickey James, bro.
Which I was trying to close my eyes and just be like, oh no, the SD women's division is so in trouble.
I honestly thought that Carmella was gonna transfer over so she could just
Oh
get
no,
it
she's
over
to
with.
stay there.
She needs to go home. That's what she needs to do. But Carmella fitting with Enzo and Cass fits perfectly, but whatever. We ain't gonna talk about that. It's about Alexa Bliss and Mickey James showing back up.
Nia Jax pretty much
Oh
showing
yeah,
up. Which every time, here's the thing: should she held that title? I hope she does not get into the title picture because actually, if you think about it, while I don't want to see Nia Jax in the title picture, she kind of makes the most sense because it would kind of feel weird if you just dropped Alexa Bliss and Mickey James' title shots right off the bat.
yes. The weird thing was that Nia just showed up like, okay, I'm Mickey James, and I'm here to. Oh shit, I'm about to get fucked up. She got ran over like hard, like for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came in, killed Sasha, killed Bailey, and Alexa Bliss is like, deuces, I'm out.
I just, just to quote Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful on the podcast, I just wish Mickey James would stop wearing those flappy ass pants of hers in the ring. I can't
it's her,
stand them.
it's her gimmick. Remember, she's the country girl, but not country, but she sang country music.
No, give me back hardcore country. Yeah,
I
I'll
could go
take
with
that.
I could go with that. And that leads us to the main event, with Kevin Owens versus Dean Ambrose.
Yep.
A match was set up after Owens put out this good promo, but standard Kevin Owens stuff. But
Yeah.
still, if it's
And
standard,
how is he? And how is he the champion of America? Even though he's the U.S. champion, but yeah, he lost twice in 2 weeks.
well, it's
If that's the face of America, then that's pretty accurate.
well, we've already had sprinkles of moments where we're thinking
Yeah.
America's going with the elections after this year, but we ain't doing politics here. We're doing wrestling, and what is it with Kevin Owens losing and stuff? I mean, how can I put it? He's in that weird spectrum of like Sammy, if not Jericho, little Jericho, because Sammy's brought down with all of his losses.
Hmm.
Owens can lose, but when he comes back and wins the big thing, it's okay. It's okay. For me, I understand why they did it because they're thus rectifying that the Intercontinental title is now going to be the main title. Dean Ambrose is
Yeah.
probably going to be the big thing for the show since Brock ain't going to be coming back anytime soon. So they need to rectify Dean, and then
Rectify what?
that's a different show for a different time. Trust me, I'm working on it, man. I'm trying. I got my
The
notepad
match.
right here.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one of the match. Honestly, I mean, the match was fine, but it honestly wasn't really anything to write home match, which is pretty much all Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens matches over the last year and a
Yes,
half.
yes.
Now, this has to tell me that KO is going to SmackDown, right?
100%. KO has to go to SmackDown now. It, it's the only thing that technically makes sense. And then they need to just make sure Sammy stays on Raw.
Yeah.
Put Kevin Owens on SmackDown. Have him, I guess, obviously retain against Jericho. and then
But again, we don't know.
yeah, it's complete unknown. And now that we're at the end of the show, they also thank God it didn't bring AJ. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah, I was
Thank you,
I was
Lord.
praying because SD Live is still safe.
Yes, the house, that hat that you wear there proves how damn good AJ is. But now that we're done with it, I personally cannot see any comments. I don't know if you can, but besides that, we can just wrap up with the, how can I put it, the way that the shakeup
Post
was. It was a clusterfuck, as we said at the
it
very start of the
it
show.
was. Oh yeah, I agree, Mike. It was, but I'll tell you what though, it did keep me on the edge of my seat
Yes.
for most of the night. So I wouldn't say this was a bad Raw.
No.
It was just kind of a hard to sit there for at least like a good 2.5 hours. Like it didn't really kick in for me until
For
the third hour hit.
for me, I watch it technically with Cassie, and for her, she's not as in depth as you and I or the rest of the co-hosts are.
She's
So which,
lucky.
yes, she really is not nowhere near as jaded as we could possibly be at Braun and all that. But anywho, besides that, um, the best thing about the shakeup was that 3 hours passed by quick.
Oh yeah.
3 hours, sorry. For everyone, Cassie is my girlfriend. It's not important to the show. It's not important to the show at all. But for me, the experience of watching a show with somebody else also brings it to a higher caliber. While being sitting at home, I'm like, that's stupid. That's dumb. Ooh, that's neat. Watching it with a person that doesn't know all the stuff that I know is like, oh snap. She's like, oh, that's cool to her. So that means it's
Yeah.
affecting correctly. But besides that, the shakeup was just so, how can I put it? It, as you said, it kept you on the edge of your
Confusing.
seat. Yeah, it was confusing, but it kept you at the edge of your seat. The 3 hours flew by for me until
I
the
just
final hour.
wish, yeah, I just wish there was like more like continuity when it came to this, like more
Mhm.
explanation from the GM for how they acquired these superstars. Like, did you trade them?
Mhm.
Like, who did you trade what? But it's like
It's
we
very
gotta watch
clear that
SmackDown.
it's very clear that Vince just woke up one day. He's like, I want this guy, and then that was it. There was
You
no.
think Raw? You think Raw will be fine with who they got tonight?
I think Raw will be okay with who they have. It's when I was driving back home and I was looking at it, I was like, how can I put this? It feels like they're just switching everything over. Okay,
Yeah,
Bray, Dean, Miz, and Alexa Bliss and Mickey James. They just took the SmackDown technically important people
yeah.
and put them on there. So it just looks like the Raw SmackDown show, and whoever they put on Raw will now be the Raw show,
Yeah,
the
imagine what it's
SmackDown
gonna
Raw
be
show.
like. Yeah, imagine what it's gonna be like at Payback in a few weeks. Cause it's like for now, it's like we got cross superstar
Exactly.
matches.
Wasn't Payback though their the yeah, Payback was. Remember last year Payback was the show before the Blanchett.
Yeah, and then Battleground was the final one where they had all the brands under
That was
one
it. That
roof.
was it. That was it. That's where I was getting confused.
But I will
But
say though, I can't wait for SD Live tomorrow night because
oh yeah,
I'm intrigued.
I'm pumped once again with Evan and Lucas. It's gonna be a good show, I imagine. Trust me, it ain't gonna be good as us because we ain't
Oh yeah,
good. We are. Who's that? What's the catchphrase of the guy on the hats?
phenomenal.
Yes, that's what we are. We are phenomenal. Any other closing thoughts, Cass? Sorry.
I will say this: it was a tired, busy day, but I mean, Raw kept me intrigued.
Yeah.
So fine show
Yes.
overall.
For me, it was a good show. It was a lot of fun. It was
Micah, you did a great job in my opinion for the first time moderating. Not too bad.
Well, I mean, I am the businessman of PWF Empire. I don't know if the people who is watching us can hear us, but PWF Empire. Notes. Sorry, this isn't my notes page. Notes. Notes.
There you
I'm the
go.
businessman. But I think that's gonna close it out for us. I think that's good, right? You good? You
Yep.
got any closing thoughts? That's it.
Yeah, I'm all ready to go. I'm tired.
Yeah, that's understandable. It's late over here. All right. From Michael Williams, you can find me at Micah Kool Aid, and you can find DJ Cass at
Cast 10 going, and that is our post Raw rundown.
yes, sir.
Later days.
Catchphrase.